Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to me spilling tea without regard for consequence. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Natalie, and if you clicked on this video, first of all, buckle up, babe, because you're in for the experience of a lifetime. It also means that you're either thinking about or preparing to rush a sorority. It's a big decision, a definite time commitment, and formal rush is an experience. Quick disclaimer before we get into the meat and potatoes of the video. I just wanted to say that all sororities are a little different at every school. Programs are different, experiences vary. Also, I don't represent any organizations or affiliate with the school at all. These are my personal but correct opinions. I personally go to Virginia Tech, where formal rush for sororities is in the spring, and all the girls who want to rush come back a week before classes start, and rush takes place that week before the spring semester. So they come back from winter break early. My first ever videos on my channel, they were about a year ago, and it was me going through the rush process. So if you're interested in a little bit more detail about actual rush and like the system of rushing, I show all my outfits, all my hairstyles, what's in my bag, what I bring, and I kind of just give you guys a rundown of every day that I do rush. So go check that out. That was my very first try at making a YouTube video, and you can probably tell. I'm just gonna go through a super quick rundown of what the rush structure is like. I can go more into depth about this. I think I want to do like a rush 101 video, but this is something different. So basically, Virginia Tech has 13 Panhellenic sororities, and formal rush is a week-long interview, vetting, and recruitment process. All the girls rush all 13 sororities, and you spend this week going through different rounds at different chapters, gradually narrowing it down to less and less houses that you would like to return to and that you have been invited back to. And it goes through like this kind of cross-reference system of who wants you back and where you want to go back to, and like that's how you continuously narrow down to your final two. And you choose, and if they choose you, that's when you get your bid on bid day, and it's super exciting. It's a pretty complicated process, and this is a pretty condensed description of it. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them down in the comments. I'd love to keep making videos about it and answer specific things that you guys are wondering about. So yeah, it's a week of selling yourself to these sororities and these sororities selling themselves to you, and at the end, in theory, you'll end up where you're supposed to be. By the way, shout out to my amazing friends in my sorority who I asked for their input for some of the tips I give in this video, and they gave me some great advice that I totally wholeheartedly agree with. Guys, look at my new coffee cup. So cute, I love it. Tip number 1, get ready to be full energy on for many hours at a time. Sometimes I would have back-to-back rounds. I think one day I had like 8 rounds in one day, and like you have got to be ready to talk, to be smiling, to be having a conversation. I'm not saying that you have to be like super bubbly or like extroverted, because you do want to be authentically yourself during this process, but like you want to be personable and you want to be nice and kind and come off as a cool, chill girl. Like obviously we're all cool, chill girls. I'm personally pretty outgoing, but I'm not like the most bubbly person. I am super comfortable with like having conversations with girls, but I have a hard time matching the energy of someone who's like super excited to be there. That was one of the challenges I faced, but I found that all these girls are looking for is a nice, interesting conversation. So just like be ready to answer their questions, just have the conversation. And if you don't do that, it's gonna be way more awkward for you and for her. Be nice, be kind, and try and make a genuine connection with these girls. Tip number 2, be prepared to have the same conversation over and over and over again. Typically there are 3 rounds of rush at Virginia Tech. There is philanthropy round, sisterhood round, and preference round. So each of these rounds gets more personal as you progress. The chapter is trying to get to know you more and more as less and less girls are returning, and you're trying to get to know the sororities better as well. But in these rounds, especially the first rounds, essentially it's gonna be all the same questions. It's gonna be the same conversation every place. Get ready to talk about your hometown, your major, major, your plans after graduation, your dorm, why you decided to rush, stuff like that. These are like literally the exact questions they are going to ask you. Like, get out your pen and paper, rewind it a little bit, because these are actually the questions that they are going to ask you, and you have to have an answer because it's going to be the same questions every single time. Practice your answers. These are what they're going to ask you. Tip number 3, have a go-to conversation starter / wearing something that's a conversation starter. Rush is all about conversations. If you have a good, entertaining, engaging conversation with a girl, it could be the difference between being invited back or not. My friend Carson told me that throughout all of Rush, she would wear these big earrings that like portrayed how she felt her style was, and like it would be a great conversation starter for girls. And I think that's such a good idea, because you do really want to have your personality shining through while you're going through this process. So like, wear what you want to wear and wear what makes you feel confident. Alternatively, having a good conversation starter or a go-to story about yourself is great. I think it's really important to also touch on things that you're passionate about. 1, because they're easy to talk about, and 2, because it shows that you have interests and personality, and that's definitely a plus. Being your most genuine and true self during this entire process is how you'll end up in a chapter that you truly feel like you belong at. Tip number 4, the girls are just girls. In the heat of the moment, when it's time to walk into the house, when you're first seeing these like goddess women standing in front of you, getting ready to talk to you, they might be a little older, they can definitely be intimidating. Just remember that they have been in the exact same shoes as you. They're probably just about the same age as you. They like know exactly how you feel, and they're probably feeling very similar. So try to get to know them too. Ask them questions about themselves, about the chapter, about their philanthropy. They love answering questions because that means they don't have to rip answers out of you. If the conversation fizzles out, don't panic. Just talk to them like they're a girl sitting next to you in class and you're trying to get to know them a little more. She's just a girl, and we're all just girls in this big world. Tip number 5, do a little research about the chapters. Not in the way though of ranking. By the way, so-called ranking of sororities is dumb as fuck and doesn't mean anything. Honestly, it's just a way for fraternity boys to pit girls against each other and have them acting in a way to please them and to make them happy. Girls, in 2024, we are not vying for frat boy attention. Snap out of it. We are not doing that. Find your girlfriends. If you take any advice from me right now, because I know I'm speaking to the future generations of sorority girls, if you take any advice from me right now, it's that your girls will love you so much more than any frat boy ever will. Period. Sorry, I got kind of off track, but that's important. When I say do your research, I mean about the chapter, about their philanthropies, about their events, about their fundraisers, about their presence on campus. And this doesn't have to be a whole manila folder of research. I'm just talking some tidbits. It shows you know your stuff, and it shows that you are in it for more than just the social side of things. Tip number 6, do not go in with a lot of expectations. This tip came from my friend Kate. Going in with bias and opinions already made about the chapters will affect your entire experience. It'll affect your enjoyment, your opinions, your conversations. Really give yourself over to the process of rushing. So not only can you narrow down where you want to end up being, but if a sister doesn't think that you'll genuinely be able to find your people, I think there is value in trusting the girls who are already in these sororities and like understanding the fact that they know the other girls in the chapter and they know if you would feel comfortable and if you would find your people in that chapter. Like, don't take a lot of things personally. Trust the process, but don't get too caught up in it. Tip number 7, there's somewhere for everyone, probably. Sororities and Greek life in general. Let me get on my soapbox for a second. Sororities and Greek life in general get a bad rap sometimes for having stereotypically mean, cliquey, think they're hot stuff girls. Honestly, what I have to say to that is that there are people like that everywhere. Newsflash, there are mean people everywhere. And this may just been facts, so don't come for me. Greek life is not an exception. Like, there are going to be people who you don't really vibe with, but that is literally anything that you could do. I didn't rush as a freshman because I really didn't think I was a sorority girl. Like, I just didn't think I would fit in, and I was like wrong. I mean, I'm not like the most alternative person. I just had these pre-existing ideas, but then I realized that I wanted strong, close friendships with other girls. I have met so many amazing, authentic, strong, independent, funny, beautiful women in Greek life here at Virginia Tech, and the feeling of a shared understanding of being a woman, of camaraderie, that we all are just girls looking to find our place in the world. It's something that I really didn't know that I needed, and now I can't imagine being without. And sometimes there's drama. Find your place, find the people that you vibe with. There is a place for you. Keeping it 100, at the end of Rush, if you really don't feel like you found that place, you don't have to join. You don't have to accept your bid. So just know that there are definitely girls who are just like you, looking for the same things that you are looking for. And finally, tip number 8, what I wish I knew before I rushed a sorority: you are looking for role models. I remember when I was rushing, being in preference round for the sorority that I ended up going, and looking around and being like, I want to be just like these girls. They're cool, they seem kind, they're super chill, they're not taking things too seriously, while at the same time being super dedicated and passionate. A little later, after I joined, I found amazing role models throughout the chapter, especially my two bigs. Shout out Megan and Katie. I was a sophomore when I rushed, and finding women who I could look at and be like, I hope I can be as successful as them. I hope I can make people feel comfortable around me in the same way that they do, and be so smart like them. And that is what it's all about, baby. Surrounding myself with those girls has made me such a better version of myself. Joining a sorority gave me so much purpose and drive and support. These girls were freaking there for me. It has been such a life-changing experience in the least cringy way possible. My cup overflows when I'm with these girls. So wrapping things up, I feel like I went through a lot of stuff, but once again, if you guys have any questions with all of my infinite knowledge, please leave it down in the comments. My overall advice going into Rush is to have a positive mindset. Honestly, it was a lot of fun, and I felt like it really pushed me to open up to others and convey who I was and what my values are. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. I've got lots of fun content coming at you guys, and if you go to Virginia Tech, girl, you've come to the right place. Follow me on Instagram at nattybird. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.